Good morning and welcome. My name is Linda Redlich, and I am one of the career specialists here at CCAC. Today, we're joined by Howard Wolf, the manager for retail training and leadership development with Giant Eagle. I've had the pleasure of listening to Howard in a past presentation, so I know he's entertaining and insightful. He will share his unique story as well as provide information about Giant Eagle's career path programs. With that, welcome, Howard.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me here today. My background is in the business. This is actually my 47th year in the business. I started in 1974 bagging groceries for an independent retailer up in Cleveland, Ohio, which is where I'm from, and worked my way through a series of assignments with that retailer, fell in love with the business, fell in love with taking care of customers, fell in love with taking care of team members, and just everything rewarding about the business. Decided to give it a try and see what happens. Ran stores for 20 or 25 years for the independent, and then in the late 90s, we were bought by Giant Eagle. Became part of the Giant Eagle family. I went through the store leader training program with Giant Eagle. I ran stores for us for 5 or 6 years, also in the Cleveland and Akron area. And then whatever the balance of that is, 15, 17 years ago, was asked to come over to the leadership development side, where I have overseen the team leader, which is a department manager for us, like a deli manager, prepared foods manager. I oversee that training program and development. I also oversee the store leader training program. During my watch, we've had upwards of 120 or 130 store leaders go through the program. We have 2,000 team leaders in the company. I'll get into some of the statistics in a little bit, but we turn about 300 of those positions a year, so it keeps me pretty busy week in and week out. Personally, I have 2 children and 4 grandchildren, ages 1 through 6, which I still live in Akron, Ohio, and so they live close to us here, and it's nice to see them on a regular basis when I'm not working.
That's great, thank you. Okay, well, that's a great segue to tell us a little bit about Giant Eagle.
All right, so let me go here. So Giant Eagle is a family-owned business since 1931. We're going to talk about the families on the next slide. Last year, we were number 40 in Forbes' top 100 largest private companies in the United States. We've been on that top 100 list for several years. Our sales this year between supermarket, get-go, and pharmacy, which we view as 3 very different businesses under the same umbrella, supermarket, get-go, and pharmacy, will sell something just short of $10 billion worth of groceries this year in top line sales. So we have the advantage of being a very large company that's also still owned privately by 5 families. The last point there, exclusive perks. We have some tremendous benefits when you work for Giant Eagle, and probably one of our most popular is our team member perks, 10% discount on over 12,000 products. Every time you check out and you buy a Giant Eagle product, and that's any Giant Eagle branded product, farmers market products, Nature's Basket, Giant Eagle meats, just to name a few, the team members receive a 10% discount at the end of their order before they check out. A little bit about our history. 1931, there were 5 families, 3 families, the Goldstein, Porter, and Chade families were working together to build, at that time, I would say a pretty large company, 125 stores they had opened up at the time. And in 1928, they actually sold those stores to Kroger's and got out of the business for 3 years. At the same time, there were two other families, the Moravitz and Weisenbaum family, who were building their own, opening their own grocery stores as well. And in 1931, the five families got together to open the first Giant Eagle store on Brownsville Road in the South Hills of Pittsburgh. Present day, bringing us to today, you can see some statistics there in the middle. We have 34,000, over 34,000 team members. We're across 5 states. We're in Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, Ohio, and Indiana. We have one market that we just opened in Indiana. We have 174 corporate locations, and then 40 independent. Independent locations are individual families that own Giant Eagles and operate under the Giant Eagle banner. There's certain things that they are required to follow to operate underneath our banner. So 214 supermarkets, and over the last 15 years or so, we've opened up 266 Get-Go locations. That's our current CEO and president, Laura Corrett. She is the great-granddaughter of Morris Goldstein, who was one of our founding fathers. So that's a little bit about the history and what our company looks like today.
That's a lot of growth. That's big. All right, thanks. What are some of the ways in which Giant Eagle supports the communities that they operate in?
Yeah, so over the years that I've been with Giant Eagle, we certainly have been very involved in the community. We take it very seriously that people come to us and shop for their food, and we appreciate that. And any way that we can get involved and give back to the communities, we take that opportunity. A couple of the things that are listed here that we're involved in, supporting hunger relief efforts. We donate over 7 million pounds of food every year to hunger relief efforts. Health and wellness initiatives. We have a thing, it used to be called the cookie card, and then we went a more healthy route and called it our Little Shopper Treat Card. And for $1, children under 10 can get a free slice of fruit, cheese, or a cookie if they choose every time they shop. And that has raised over $100,000 that we have provided to support 8 local hospitals. We also support many walks, runs, races every year that go on in the communities. A big way that we participate there is donating bottles of water. Last year, we donated 150,000 bottles of water to those events. You can see one example there, the UPMC Children's Hospital is one of the hospitals that we donate to. And there at the bottom, we put in that this was going back, I don't know, probably 10 or 15 years in Brunswick, Ohio. We opened our first LEED certified supermarket. And today, we've actually, between remodels and opening new stores, we actually operate 17 LEED certified supermarkets in our operating areas.
Wow. Yeah, I actually remember the cookie card now that you brought that up. I have a 21-year-old and I remember that. It was a real treat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. So every company operates with a foundational set of principles. Can you tell us about Giant Eagle's?
Sure. So our core values, our fundamental principles begin with our 6 core values. We actually just refreshed these. These have guided our company for many years. There were 5. We added a 6th one this year called Do Right. Successful team members and team leaders with our company demonstrate these values with every decision and action that they take when they're working in our stores. And these core values also form the basis for our company's decision making as well. just looking at a couple of them, the cornerstone core value that we have is respect all. We go out of our way to treat our guests and one another with kindness and dignity. We have several initiatives that roll up into this cornerstone core value as well, including all of our inclusion and diversity initiatives that we have throughout the company. The see it, own it, just to explain what that means, as an example, if you're in the store and you see water on the floor, you see it, you own it. It's your responsibility to find someone or get something to make sure that we have a safe environment for customers and our team members to operate in. Another example of see it, own it is if you notice that a customer appears to be looking for something, they have that look on their face. Once you recognize that, you own it. You see it, you own it. It's your responsibility to proactively approach that guest and ask them if there's something that you can help them find. And the last one that we added this year, the do right, it's really all about ethical behavior. And we'll look a little bit closer at ethics, because Giant Eagle, we pride ourselves in being an ethical company. We take any and all ethical concerns very seriously. We have a variety of ways for team members to feel comfortable bringing those concerns to the attention of someone. We ask ourselves two questions in any action: is it the right thing to do, and is it good for our business? And the ways that we have at the bottom there to have people feel comfortable reporting. It could be their supervisor, but maybe their supervisor is maybe the person involved. Unfortunately, they can go to human resources, a Giant Eagle officer, or there's an anonymous 800 line as well. And I would say the next piece that really drives our company is safety. Many years ago, we came up with 3 simple steps: respect the risk, see it, own it, and step up and speak out. And safety being a top priority for the company. When we first started, David Shapira, who is Laura's dad, was the CEO of the company. And when we started the initiative, he put out a goal of 0 incidents. So 34,000 people today, 400 locations. The goal is 0 customer incidents, 0 team member incidents, and 0 vendor incidents. So we include all 3 constituencies that shop in our store to make sure that we're providing a safe environment for those that work for us, shop for us, and deliver to us. And at the time, there were certainly folks that thought, how are you ever going to get to 0 incidents? Last year, of our supermarket locations, we had 60 locations go the entire calendar year without a single safety incident. So it starts at the top, it works its way down, and I think everybody up to the folks, right on the front lines take safety very seriously.
I'd agree. Well, okay, good, thanks. So if someone is interested in a career with Giant Eagle, what would that look like, Howard?
So I think the first thing I'm going to talk about isn't on the slide. It's what the leadership positions look like in our stores. Again, as I said earlier, we have upwards of 2,000 department team leaders in the organization. They're basically running a business within a business. They're responsible for their own department. They're responsible for the department sales. They're responsible for the department loss, meaning the food that gets either thrown away or reduced or what have you. They're responsible for scheduling accurately. They're responsible for basically customer service and team members being happy working for Giant Eagle. And those accountabilities roll up into the store leader for those positions then as well, who's responsible to oversee anywhere from 10 to 15 department team leaders in our stores. A team leader may oversee 3 or 4 people. They may oversee on large market district front ends. You could have 60 or 70 people that are working for you. Running a business for Giant Eagle, running a business within a business could be annual sales of hundreds of thousands of dollars annually to millions of dollars annually. Linda, we talked earlier about our store down in the South Hills. That store is approaching $100 million a year in business. So our largest stores are, 60, 70, 80, $90 million a year businesses that folks are responsible to run. And when we talk about running a business, run it like you own it. We like to empower our leaders to feel like they own it. And the decisions they make should be with, if I own this business, what decision would I make? Store leaders in those stores, those market district stores, are overseeing upwards of 400 team members in the building and hundreds of thousands of customers a year. So the positions are very responsible. They are very exciting. I happen to think the store leader is the best position in the company. You have a chance to impact thousands and thousands of people every single week that you're in the store. You have the opportunity to solve problems for team members, personal problems, business problems, customers who come in with problems. And there's a tremendous satisfaction at the end of the week and month that you've done a good job of providing good, wholesome food for people's families on their table. The career path, we call it ILDP at the top there, the Internal Leadership Development Program, says that if somebody comes into the company without any experience, we can get them running one of these stores in 2.5 to 3 years if they meet certain criteria along the way. It's a very comprehensive career path and training program. We train people to run departments, 3 different departments at first. One department is a fresh department. So it's a produce department, it's a deli department, it's a prepared foods department. It's to understand how to handle product that has days or hours of shelf life as opposed to weeks, months, and years of shelf life. It's a differentiator to the competition. But then we have center store, which is, if you look down on a store, it's exactly what it says. Center store are all the grocery aisles and the frozen aisles. That department is responsible for 60% of the sales in the store. It's the largest department. It's the largest inventory to manage. And it's the most floor space to keep looking good day in and day out every day that we open. And then the third department that a person works in for, these are 6-month increments, is the front end, so that they understand how to handle cash and customers as opposed to product and inventory. If a person is a high potential performer and remains as a high potential performer throughout that 18-month period of time, they earn their way into the store leader development program, where 12 to 18 months later, we have we have developed them with their leadership skills. There's facilitated classes that they would go through for leadership skills like communication, delegation, and so on, and as well as the business end of it, hands-on business end of it, running a store under a certified trainer. And if all goes as planned during that 12 to 18 months, we assign them a right-sized store for the skill set of a new store leader, and their career's off and running. Just as a point, that these are very responsible positions. It's a tough business, but the compensation, just as a general range, so people understand what the earning potential is for a team leader position, they are somewhere between the $40,000 and $55,000 range annually plus bonus. And for a store leader, it starts in the low 70s. And folks that are running our market district stores today are earning six figures plus bonus. So again, a lot of responsibility, but there's a pretty nice compensation package that goes along with it, and appreciation for everything that they do. And that is how you get to run a store for Giant Eagle.
Wow, the compensation is really interesting because it's a lot higher than you would generally find in retail. So I think that that's super interesting. I know you had brought those points when you spoke in Allegheny campus last March. So I was actually amazed by that, the compensation, although there's a lot of work to be done with it. But yeah, the compensation package is extremely generous.
Yeah, and Linda, I would say too that Giant Eagle, my 20 years with them, they live by the people first mantra. We try to treat our team members well, and from a standpoint of understanding work-life balance, from a standpoint of understanding that there's things going on outside the store. So I think that I have found, and others have found, that we do a really nice job of providing a work-life balance. Holiday weeks are holiday weeks. There's going to be a lot of hours those weeks. There's no sugarcoating that. But I found over my career anyway that the rewards at the end of it far outweighed the effort that was put into it.
Yeah, I'd agree. So I know you have some contact information, Howard, and then perhaps we could open it up to any questions that we may have. We've got lots of people on the call.
Sure. So this page here, any position that we have available has to get posted online so everyone can see it internally and externally. Jobs.gianteagle.com are where our hourly and leadership positions all appear. That's my contact information at the bottom there. And following this presentation today, I'd be more than glad to take emails. Now that's my office phone, so it's probably more effective to email me, although you can also leave a message on my office line and I'll be sure to pick that up as well.
That's cool. So basically, Howard, you're saying that anyone that's interested is welcome to email you personally.
100% true. As a matter of fact, I just talked to one of your students earlier this week and had a really good conversation. It's what I do. It's is help people understand what our opportunities are and paint a picture for them that's, that helps them make a decision in their life.
Yeah, so anyone that's listening that's interested, I would encourage you to jot down his information. To get past a gatekeeper, to be able to speak with Howard one-on-one through an email is a pretty big deal. So that's
yeah, and if
cool.
somebody finds a job out there and they look at the job description and have questions about it before applying, feel free to email me those questions as well.
That's super kind of you. That's great. So do we have any questions that we'd like to ask